afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to CNN Caribbean News Network. I'm your host, Nicole Salvi. So it's been over a week, guys, since the hurricane in Jamaica. And unfortunately, I have to say that, my feeling initially was that I hoped and prayed that it would not have been as bad as it was sort of projected to be. But it is. So, the situation in Jamaica right now is as following. Aid is indeed getting to St. Elizabeth, which is the worst impacted, friends. However, other areas such as Bluefields in Westmoreland and in parts of Montego Bay are not getting the actual shipments in and the aid and the support that these communities desperately need. So, the international community is rallying, but it has been sort of stated that it's now been turned into a sort of politicized sort of stance from the Jamaican government. I hope and pray that that is not so. Uh, Airports have been reopened, and cell phone service up until this morning was reinstated, especially in some of the less impacted areas such as Negril and Sablamar in Westmoreland. Apparently, as I said earlier, there's tons of aid that is actually not getting to the Jamaicans that badly need it in the affected areas. This is due to the lack of enough helicopters. America has sent down some helicopters, and the Jamaican government actually has a small fleet of them. But bigger than that, the roads are blocked from debris, from, the still some of the flooding from rivers are still sort of continuing. And the landslides they're horrific. Total communities have been wiped out. I saw a number of videos from the hospital roof that was lifted during the storm, right through to sort of rural mountainous communities that literally homes were just taken up by the wind and displaced and just demolished. To say that Jamaica is, damaged is an understatement, guys. It is completely decimated in parts of it. Places like, thank God, Kingston was not gravely affected, but you have others that were dreadfully affected. And it's going to take years. It's really going to take years for Jamaica to get back on its feet. But Jamaica is a resilient country, and the people are very, dexterous as well as driven to see their country get back to normal. And all of us helping and supporting everyone down there, it will take time, but it will come back. Okay. Now, in closing, the Jamaican government has announced just this morning that a national campaign to clean up the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa across western and central Jamaica has commenced. It also confirmed a series of concerts that are called I Love Jamaica, which are expected to raise at least $1 million. Much needed money, guys, much needed money in support of Hurricane Melissa relief effort. So, for example, artists like Shaggy. Shaggy was one of the first people that was actually on the ground that, got people behind him from the US, pulled up his sleeves, literally unpacked the charter plane. Sean Paul actually donated 50,000, a little bit short, but I'll sort of reserve my commentary on that, right? The Cayman Islands, yet again, was the first country to actually fly out as soon as the airports in Mobay and Kingston were open. I believe Cayman flew into Kingston with a charter plane, and a number of the ministers from the Cayman Islands were there on the ground with check in hand. They donated $1 million towards the relief efforts, as well as much needed supplies. So, Jamaica is getting a lot of support, guys. But as I said, there, there's not enough. There's an old adage, and I love dropping these adages, right? And I'll say it in patois, and then I'll say it in English, standard English. One basket, sorry, one coca full basket, meaning that $1 over a number of persons putting it into a basket will eventually fill it. And, I'm so pleased as a person that is Jamaican born, and I love Jamaica. I mean, it's within my heart. I'm very pleased to see the international community as well as the Caribbean family and the Jamaican diaspora rallying to support the country. Our prayers are with Jamaica. Moving on now, still in the Caribbean, the Cayman Islands. Cayman's MPs will debate the much needed immigration reform bill next month. Once passed, the new immigration bill will, without a doubt, set out a clear framework for how immigration in the Cayman Islands will be handled, as well as it will indeed reinstate employment protection for Caymanians. Yet again, I've said this before on this channel that I am very lucky, very proud also to be a Caymanian. And, I recollect when I was a younger woman, Caymanians could literally walk out of one job on Friday and go into another one on Monday morning, because there was the Caymanian protection law that was, giving the rights that Caymanians had first dibs on all of the employment. Unfortunately, over time, over 30 odd years, that has changed. Now it's time for Caymanians to reclaim their country and start living on the standard that they used to live on. You cannot have any country where your citizens are not having a fabulous life and sort of enjoying the spoils and the bountiful sort of amazing lifestyle of the country. It's just not on. You can't have that. So I, welcome this. And, MP Michael Miles has taken this by the horns, taken the bull by the horns, and has not relinquished to the pressures of the expatriate community, and I commend him. And I look forward when I'm back home to shake his hands. Excellent job. Back into the US. Good Lord. The shutdown continues. It's waiting on. Right now it's into the 5th week, and there is no remedy in sight at all. The Trump administration will not sort of give in. They're being very adamant that they want certain things, and unless they get certain things, they're not complying. Millions of Americans are on the verge of homelessness. Can you believe this? America, that was a first world country where persons from the Caribbean and other people from around the world used to flock for refuge, for a better life, is now in the grips of homelessness, of its citizens also on the sort of threshold of about to face starvation, because Trump refuses to use the emergency funds that are allocated to cover home Section 8, which that is a home allowance for persons of low income, and SNAP, the welfare sort of food stamps and that sort of thing. He refuses to do it. 2 judges have actually vehemently stated that he must use it, and he continues to absolutely refuse. It is just a scandal. It is just not right. The way that this guy is operating is just, as I said, Gestapo, fascist beyond belief. So on some good news, last night, a blue wave is now dominating Mega. Fantastic. I'm, a Democrat, so I actually welcome that, and I'm very happy. Democrats have won a number of states in last night's elections, from New York City, where they actually had the mayoral run, and McDanney actually won, right through to the New Jersey governor's race, where Mikey Sherrill dominated and won. Bravo. Congratulations, guys. And I hope this trend continues. Democrats were undoubtedly, in a number of states last night in elections, the victors. Bravo. So, I'm so pleased to hear that. Now, back into the Caribbean, the impending war in the Caribbean is set to kick off anytime, imminently. Last week, Lindsey Graham actually stated that, it's a matter of time. Trump has already made up his mind. And guess what? He knows exactly when it's going to be kicking off. And there is no debate needed, no more sort of hesitation. He knows the timeline and the actual commencement date. Lindsey actually stated that it was going to be happening right after he came back from his China trip. Now, we're going on about 4 or 5 days. Nothing's been said. Everything is in position in the Caribbean to once again tear the Caribbean apart, infringe in all of our sort of peace and tranquility, and completely disturb that. When it happens, I'm not even right now, guys, on an if. When this happens, it's complete destabilization for the region, massive negative ramifications, and something that will not be pleasant or a sort of quelled or quashed in any time soon. It's going to be an ongoing situation. Once again, thank you for joining me here on CNN Caribbean News Network, and we will continue to cover all of these stories as they continue to develop. Once again, I will look forward to seeing you again soon. We will be back. Have a lovely, pleasant remainder of the day, wherever you may be around the world. Take care. Ciao.